Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One of the 5 most important items, according
Is it audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. I will begin this.
to Rupa Goswami, in all of our devotional activities, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name, worshipping the deity form of the Lord, serving the Vaishnavas, and residing at a sacred place like Vrindavan. 5. Identified by Rupa Goswami of the 64 items, these 5 are most potent and particularly important for all of us to progress in our devotional lives. After that was over, there was some discussion about, wow, that was really a good experience and really uplifted many people, and the feedback was very, very positive. So what's next? Should we, so it was decided that we did, have a seminar on how to, training and education, so that's what we're doing. Training and education on the topic of how a cultured devotee of the Lord interacts with others, with nature, with other living beings, with other Vaishnavas, with non-Vaishnavas. How do we conduct ourselves? What's the etiquette? Now, some of it is common sense. At the same time, common sense doesn't always prevail. Conditioning has a tendency to prevail, whether it's common sense or not. And, you know, it's Kali Yuga, which means the good qualities of mankind gradually diminish and diminish and diminish.
Hare Krishna. Dilalit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It's not audible, Prabhu.
Is it?
For us.
Audible for us, Prabhu.
Audible.
It is audible, Prabhu. Just now you paused it.
Yes, right. I just paused it.
Prabhu, can you change the full audible?
Therefore, reminders of what those good qualities are and how to achieve them and what does it look like and how to conduct ourselves going forward in time, training and education and proper etiquette. Sadhaka is the word that's used, one of the words that's used. It's a prominent word used in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is what we're going to be discussing. Vaishnava etiquette and Gora Lila. Gora Lila means the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Sadachar is a term.
Is it Chandam Prabhu? Are you able to hear now?
Prabhu, sound is very less.
I mean, this is what is that audio. Yeah, maybe you have to increase on your audio system, I mean, your device, Prabhu, because this is the max we have here.
Term that's used in Chaitanya Charitamrita repeatedly. I mean, not overbearingly, but repeatedly. Achar means conduct. And Sadachar means transcendental, or that which is in relation to Sat. The realm of transcendence, behavior in the realm of transcendence, or Vaishnava etiquette. So part 1, for those of you that missed it, we just made an overview of different teachings, precepts. There was a list of, for example, this is just review from part 1, for those of you that missed it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his writings, presents 8 principles of respect according to one's position. Human being, go upwards. Human beings that's civilized, following Varnashram. The human beings that are situated in a respectable position by their occupation or by nature, by their leadership, by their being a king, Raja, Maryada, and so forth. Just go up and up and up and up. And the topmost in his list is one who is engaged in devotional service. So we're engaged in devotional service by the mercy of disciplic succession. And so respect goes to those persons, and we should be respect worthy. What's the conduct of one who's receiving respect from others? What's it supposed to look like? And you know, not going through the whole part 1, but different lists. Manu Samhita has its little list. There's a series of descriptions of what are categories, and then we spent some time with a few examples of good conduct, good character, good conduct, good character, even when somebody is inimical. Like the example was from Mahabharata, where Yudhishthira was respectful to Dhritarashtra, even Dhritarashtra knew all the bad things that Duryodhana had done. He didn't stop him. He's his father. He didn't say anything. He didn't stop him. But because he's the emblem of good conduct, of virtue, Yudhishthira was always respectful to Dhritarashtra. In all circumstances, no exception. He was always respectful. And even in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's case, we gave another example that was the godbrother of his spiritual master. His spiritual master was Ishwara Puri. The godbrother of his spiritual master was Ramachandra Puri. And Ramachandra Puri was a fault finder. He delighted in vilifying devotees for some discrepancy he found. So instead of honoring their devotion, he was looking for faults in execution of what they did. And that was his business, fault finding. That was his fun. He was known for it. So when he came to visit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the leading disciple of his godbrother, so he, Ramchandra Puri, wanted to come to visit Jagannath Puri and find fault. But he couldn't find any fault. So he invented one and vilified him because there were ants on the floor. Now, some of you have lived in India. You grew up in India. Some of you didn't. But you visit and you see there's ants everywhere, here and there. So he found some ants on the floor. And he pointed to the ant. We saw the very nice painting. Aha! You're a sannyasi, but you're eating so many sweets. There's sugar on the floor. The ants are coming for the sugar on the floor. What kind of sannyasi are you? So knowing that Ramchandra Puri was a fault finder, even before he made up a fault, he was respectful. So the principle that I was speaking on, and going to speak on it again today, today and this evening and tomorrow at the Sunday program, is of the principles of etiquette, fundamental, foundational to good conduct with all living entities is respect. Say it negatively, without respect, you're not going to have good exchanges, good character in your dealings with nature, with cows, with humans, with animals, with anything, without respect. So it's fundamental. So that's our topic. Vaishnava etiquette begins with respect, and now it's Vaishnava etiquette in Gaura Lila. So there's the background of why we are where we are. And some of you are maybe a little bit newer, maybe not. The painting on the left is depicting Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami was a principal author of Hari Bhakti Vilas. Hari Bhakti Vilas is an extensive, exhaustive citing of standards from Scripture and how to do anything and anything that a Vaishnava does, like how to chant, how to observe Ekadasi, how to observe Janmashtami, how to conduct a marriage, how to perform initiation, how to anything. It's a how-to manual for a Vaishnava. And the author is pictured on the left. He was a Brahmana in his, both not only his birth, but his disposition, his character, his conduct. And he writes in Hari Bhakti Vilas, the Vaishnava etiquette as the behavior of a pure devotee. Here's the quote from Hari Bhakti Vilas. Since nothing can be successful without sadachara, or etiquette, every action should be performed with proper etiquette. We must act according to proper etiquette. The heart of a saintly person is free from contamination. The way a saintly person acts is known as sadachara. So the sadachara is a display. There's written descriptions of what good conduct is, and a person who's a saintly individual, they display it. It's inside and it comes outside. They live by good conduct or proper Vaishnava etiquette. And again, nothing can be successful without it. So every action should be with it. Then there's details and details in Hari Bhakti Vilas about what good conduct is, or good Vaishnava etiquette is. That very same person, Sanatana Goswami, who wrote Hari Bhakti Vilas, was spoken to at length, instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was pictured on the left. And there's a whole long section called Sanatana Shiksha, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving shiksha or instructions to Sanatana Goswami in all kinds of things. And towards the end of that narration, he says, praising his disciple, Sanatana Goswami, pictured on the right. My dear Sanatana, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe, and although even the demigods and great saints are purified by touching you, it is the character of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. What's an ornament? Just like in literature, it's called alankara. It's literary ornaments that make writing very, very nice. There's different categories of literary ornaments. Poetic expression of same thing can be said very straight, and it can be said very sweetly or very attractively. And the examples in literature of ornamental language that makes conveying a topic very nice is ornamental. So the ornament of a devotee is this something that you wear. There's already some beauty, but the beauty of the beauty is the ornament. And Vaishnava etiquette it's something that's observable because there's something inside. It's very simple. Whatever's inside comes out. Supposing somebody is in the mode of ignorance, influenced strongly by the mode of ignorance, they don't have good speech and good conduct because what's inside is what comes out. Supposing somebody is situated in goodness, it comes out in the form of good conduct, good speech, good behavior. And then there's transcendental. Vaishnava is meant to be, at least we're moved towards transcendence and away from all three of the modes of nature. Certainly, minimally, mode of goodness, but transcendental, even beyond the mode of goodness. We'll hear about something like that towards the end of this presentation. This is another nice illustration of Sanatana Goswami, continuing the very next verse from what I just read. If one transgresses the laws of etiquette, notice in colored letters is Maryada, because we heard of Maryada from the list of 8 of Bhaktivinoda Thakur from part 1. Maryada means etiquette. If one transgresses the laws of etiquette, people make fun of him, and thus he is vanquished in both this world and the next. We already praised Sanatana Goswami as being the emblem of good etiquette. By observing the etiquette, you have satisfied my mind. Who else but you could show this example? Sometimes we find persons that are vastly learned are proud. Not always, but it's not uncommon either, because they're carrying this load of wisdom or knowledge, and they like showing it off. I mean, sometimes it happens. So this knowledge isn't the ornament. The character is the ornament.
Hare Krishna. We'll pause with that statement. Knowledge is not the ornament. Etiquette is the ornament. Hare Krishna devotees, would like to, before we go to the question yesterday's or the last week's question asked by the different devotees. Anybody has any quick points on today's session?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Kumarika here.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
The very fact that Maharaj is pointing out from the scriptures that without this respect or good conduct, nothing can be achieved spiritually on the spiritual platform. That is my takeaway, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes. And in fact, the quote that he has given, even if Bhakti Sanatana Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that you are such an exalted devotees, but he says that it is very important that you should observe this etiquette. Thank you, Mataji. Sarbari Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. The
Hare
same
Krishna
line that
Mataji.
you.
কেম
Yes,
ছে
Prabhu.
মাতাজি? ভালো আছে?
হ্যাঁ, ভালো আছি, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, it's the same line that you said. Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. So that's a very nice, deep, fundamental statement. I liked it very much. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
হরে কৃষ্ণ মাতাজি, থ্যাংক ইউ।
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you mix the Gujarati and Bengali.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare
So
Krishna,
we need to, because we like khichdi. So khichdi is so we can mix different vegetables, different dals. So and that too Ekadasi day. Oh Krishna. Yes, Shweta Mataji, you have something to share?
No, Prabhu, actually, I just
Okay, thank
opened
you.
for it. But then I was actually thinking it's not it's, it's not a direct question, but um, the people like Ramchandrapuri, I mean, I was I was just thinking that the critics who are actually seeing something wrong everywhere, wh- what is why why are they like that? That they always try to see the wrong, and what could have been before that they are like this, and then is there any good behavior like this in general? Like always trying to find out wrong. It's not good at their part, but then apart from obvious bad, is there something even good also of existence of such people in society? I was just thinking that.
Okay, so there are two parts, Mataji. The part one, you are saying that why people do like this, why do they do like this? And the second part is that, is there any example of good example of finding a fault, Mataji?
Right, right, Prabhu. Correct, correct,
Okay.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Kumarika Mataji, please.
One thing I can say is, if as a child, if we are facing lot of criticism and not appreciation, that is what we learn. And this finding fault in others comes from a low self-esteem or inferiority complex, that we want to put down others. So if we had been brought up in such a way that only our faults were described and nothing good of value was appreciated, that is what will become of us in future. So we should have to be careful while rearing our children. Another thing is there any good? Yes, there is some good, because they are outspoken and they find faults. Because usually our anarthas we don't realize at all. So if we are in a position to humbly accept whatever people say, it is very difficult. But then we can contemplate and see how much is truth in that. If that, even if that person is habituated to finding my faults, okay, but is there any truth in that? The introspection will come, because we are, at least I am unaware of my anarthas. So if somebody points out, then they are doing good to the society.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for explanation. So, but then for that person, it will be counted as a good deed or the bad deed.
See, the esoteric point of view, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has said that person who is doing this job of finding your faults is doing so much good to you, because you are taking away all bad karmas from that person. So it's not good for him. By putting down others, we will take their bad karmas.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Somebody was trying to speak here in between. Is there anyone who would like to add something to this?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
Say,
Prabhu.
if somebody is finding the fault on us, then if you take positively, we can correct ourselves. That is one good thing, Otherwise, we'll never know our mistakes.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody has any thought on this? 657. Shamkun Prabhu, would you please like to add on this particular? This is very interesting question that Sweta Mataji asked. Kumarika Mataji added. Lakshmi Narayan Prabhu also added.
Kumarika Mataji said that if a person as a child faces criticism, then in their adulthood they turn out to be persons finding faults in others. And there is also the aspect that which, especially if a person publicly reviles another person, that is, publicly finds faults in another person, then whatever is the bad quality of the person whom they're speaking to, it comes to the person who's speaking about it. That is one. Even in private, if one does it, if the motive is not for helping the other person, again, as Pumarika Mataji said, whoever is finding faults, it comes to them. That is there. In addition to a childhood facing criticism, uh, turning out to be finding faults in others unnecessarily, it also turns out that if a person is uh, if a person is in pressure, or sometimes if a person is very dissatisfied within, such a person too finds faults in others. And uh, so sometimes we end up finding too many faults in others, and therefore we'll have to look into it. Are we unhappy from the core? And if we get an answer there, or if we can take the help of somebody to find it out, we'll get to know, am I doing it genuinely, or is it because I'm unhappy from within? And so a better way of doing it is what the solution to this is something which Maharaj told today. That the same thing can be said in a straightforward way or an attractive way. Sometimes straightforward way is required, but most of the times an attractive way is required. So the gap between straightforward and attractiveness, and I mean, telling something in a straightforward way and in an attractive way, is patience. We lack patience to speak something in an attractive way. And why we lack patience? Because either we are irritated or we are unhappy from within, etc. So it boils down to us. I can give you an example, which I think some of us heard last Saturday. There was a recollection of the glories of His Holiness Rumpad Maharaj by Satyavrata Prabhu. And there are many such things, but I'll just bring out one example here. It so happened that when Satyavrata Prabhu, he was under the guidance of a particular devotee, and that devotee, um, he had very high standards, and that devotee did not recommend per se Satyavrata Prabhu for taking the next steps of Harinam Diksha with Rumpad Maharaj. But Rumpad Maharaj saw that Satyavrata Prabhu was like serving him very much. So he asked, do you think you can, he asked the devotee who was guiding him, that, do you think he can be trained for initiation? So the devotee who was guiding Satyavrata Prabhu felt, oh yeah, I think Maharaj is asking, so I should train him up. He did, he made him read the scriptures, follow some things, etc. He did all of that. And finally he said, Maharaj, I think he's ready. But at that time, Satyavrata Prabhu was already married. So the devotee who was taking care of Satyavrata Prabhu said that his wife is not ready for Harinam Diksha. So Maharaj felt that if the husband is ready and the wife is not ready, and both of them were, of course, married, they had two kids, two children, they have gone a particular distance in their married life. And the wife will feel bad. So on one hand, Maharaj wanted to honor what the devotee who's training him is saying, but at the same time, he did not want the wife of Satyavrata Prabhu to feel bad. So he called both of them and he asked the wife, your husband is taking Harinam Diksha, but you will not be taking it now. Do you feel something bad about it? And this gesture of Maharaj to ask his wife, and then he spent some half an hour, 45 minutes explaining why she needs some additional training. From his side, he was ready to give her then and there, saying, let the time take care of whatever happens over a period of time. He was willing to take care of uh, comp- the the consequences that may happen for the guru. But he also felt that there is a value in what that devotee who's guiding him is saying. So the guru was like the tough cop, and no, sorry, the person who was guiding them was the tough cop, and Maharaj was the good cop, kind of a thing. It was probably that kind of a role. But by speaking in a very nice way to assuage any fears and saying, I would like to give you initiation. It's just that you need to work on points A, B, C, and D. You please work on this. And I'll be more than happy to give you Harinam Diksha. He won the heart of the wife of Satyavrata Prabhu. And very soon she did receive Harinam Diksha too. So, how to speak like Maharaj, like in an attractive way, not saying you are bad, but rather saying, can you work something on top of it this way? I anyway love you. You will anyway get it. That's not a big deal, etc. Uh, comes from a person who is confident of himself or herself, who has nothing much to ask from the people in this world, etc. So, inner satisfaction is a key core for us to not be fault finders always. Or even if one finds faults, how to tell it in a nice way for the benefit of the other person. That's just a thought.
Thank you, Prabhu. There's Bhagavad Gita Shloka 17.15. Anudvegakaram Vakyam Satyam Priyam Hitam Chayat. Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaivam Vangmayam Tapa Uchyate. The austerity of speech is what told in the 17th chapter, which is it should not be agitating. Anudvegakaram Vakyam Satyam, truthful. It should be truthful also. Priyam, dear. Hitam, beneficial. Cha, also yat, which is that. So that is where this austerity of speech is, which is truthful, pleasing, and beneficial, and not agitating. So very important principles here. Recently, I heard that one devotee who was practicing, I mean, he started coming to Krishna consciousness, and he her, actually it is a she. So her father passed away, and the devotee who was guiding was not in town, so she just visited temple, and it's not from the Bangalore but other city. And then she told there was another devotee, and he said that what happens? Then she said that my father passed away. Then this devotee said, your father, your mother will also pass away, you will also pass away, your husband will pass away. So though it is truth, but then that lady said that she will never come to Krishna consciousness. So we have to be not agitating, though it is a truth, but there is a time, place, circumstances to tell that what is the reality. And then rest of the life, she said that she would never come to Krishna consciousness. So Anudvegakaram Vakyam, very important thing. Thank you very much. 7 minutes past 7 o'clock. We'll pause here. We will continue tomorrow on the same point. And also, we will hear from Shankun Prabhu on the remaining 2 points. I see Lakshmi Narayan Prabhu's hand and Dhir Lalit Prabhu's hand. Yes, Prabhu?
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you quoted one shloka, Prabhu, about how to speech. So on top of that, in the same verse which you quoted, it comes that how it is possible with such a nice sweet comes out, a swadhyaya, by reading the scriptures. That's what I wanted to add.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Kumarika here. I just wanted to add, because sometimes you are in a position that you have to find fault. and convey that, like senior managers in IT firm or something like that. Then there is a book called 1 Minute Manager, which I read a long time back. But it was the same thing, like Anutvega Karam Vakyam. So the principle in that 1 Minute Manager is the first, the CEO will talk 1 minute about what all good things that employee had done. And if you can just change that this little fault of yours, you'll be so good. And you will end up with that fault at the end of the program. So that used to really encourage people and not make them think that I'm valueless to the company. So, and they all loved him. So that man had written the book. It is a very small book, so it's nice to go through sometimes for us to. I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mamataji. As usual, wonderful wisdom. Bhakti Siddhanta, this is very important point that Mataji, when person in a role to do that, mother, father, teacher, gurus, they are authorized to do that. They are in that role. But if we are not, I think it is not recommended. In fact, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that if you are finding a fault, and His Holiness Rompa Swami Maharaj would always quote that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj quote that if you are finding a fault in others, it invariably means that you are honeycombed with the same fault. So it also indicates that something is there within that. Shankar Prabhu, 709, yes, Prabhu, something quickly.
Yes, Prabhu. Like today's topic was very value adding, and this is what we are struggling dealing day in and day out. And obviously, one is that we might have set a very high standard for ourselves when we ourselves may not be perfect in something, and that is where we end up finding fault in others. And one is that we are somewhere lacking patience or lacking the tolerance, which is where we end up finding fault in others or end up criticizing others. So I feel that case somewhere I as a person also is struggling to cope up with that. So would want to overcome those things so that the behavior is polite and is able to convey certain things in a rather very polite manner, which is acceptable to the other. And obviously, sometimes children are the target for that. So in these days, upbringing of the children is one of the most priority and critical tasks. So would want more insight into that.
Okay, Prabhu. I think that's a good question. And Shamkun Prabhu, probably we will add this in the list. And in this week, this is very important questions in addition to Channakeshav Prabhu, Shweta Mataji's question, and Shankar Prabhu's question. So we will hear from Shamkun Prabhu in the coming week. Is that okay, Shankar Prabhu?
Very much, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Nandri. So we will pause here. We'll continue tomorrow. Kamada Ekadasi ki jai, His Holiness Jai Patak Swami Maharaj ki jai, His Holiness Rompa Swami Maharaj ki jai, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. We'll end here.
Thank you very much.